Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chaos Magic. Tonight we have some amazing performers for you. We've got we've got Skiff. So we all know why we're here and what we're doing here. So if you don't know by now, then watch a different video. Mwah. Take it away, Paul, when you are ready. We love you.
Thanks. Good to be here with this group of dedicated extremists. I have this in the tradition of the Magus. I have a cover poem I'll do first, short poem by Asato Saint. The title is Devils in America. I was born on All Angels Day, but throughout my life, I've been a bitch out of hell. Don't nobody show up at my funeral to call me nice or some shit like that. Save it for turncoat cocksuckers who on their deathbeds open their mouths wide to claim God. Though Christianity befuddles me, I'm amazed at how it enslaves the gay African American community. Lately, I've wished there's such a thing as the Almighty, because on Judgment Day, I'd unload a few choice words. Hey, omniscient you, do you feel proud with so much madness committed in your name? Hey, omnipotent you, ain't you got nothing better to do than making folks suffer? Hey, omnipresent you, do you remember my lovers and I butt fuck? Go screw yourself, asshole of the universe. Can I get a witness? Let's see.
Thank you for that.
The next poem is let's see here. Sorry, I'm bugging out here to find the right poem. Oh, come on. Where'd it go? Oh, okay. Here we are. It says the title, Run with Your Feet Cut Off. Dream without utopia. Become a citizen with your humanity taken away. Make a baby using a condom. Feel dignified while being lied to. Be optimistic about the United States of America while listening to an idiot president. Feel your security is guaranteed in an epidemic of guns. Possess your own life in capitalism. Be heard on the mic without catalyst. Censorship is a fear-based attack on human dignity. When arrested and yanked out of the car, will you declare to the cop you had defiance bred into you, the sounds standing off your tongue with more authority than bite of handcuffs on wrist? When the person who used to tell you how much they love you is landing fists on you, will you use your voice to stand a concern up in their madness, asking them to find their feelings in fury that dims the mirror gone dark upon their awareness this minute has erased? Will you mistake one triumph of your righteousness for the finale of the need to forever continue and resist the backward social knot of divisiveness to deflate its animosity with your voice, the naked form of where dignity and self-respect flourish? Your voice, what all oppressors fear. Your voice, the first thing abusers seek to erase. Your voice, starting in your spirit, to embody those natural sounds, words protecting creation of our furious pleasure, equality, only words we administer like curatives can raise to enfold us, like somebody passing you the mic. Will you plead the cause, represent the wronged, stand up in front of violence that deprives one of being fully alive? Watch how you answer these interrogatories. It is not a contest you can quit. It is not an obligation possible to avoid. And if you serve the word well, everyone will be desperate after you are gone. Because of you, we will be more together, more alive, more strong, more resonant with togetherness. Thanks. That's all I have to offer.
Thank you, Blxck. Everyone show some love for Paul. That amazing.
Yeah, Paul. Great
When did you
cover too.
curious?
Amazing as always, Paul.
That first poem really made my day, Paul. I feel like I need to check this. Does this guy have a lot of poems like that? I just really love that.
Yeah, is most of the stuff I've read by him that you can find online is very, very gay, very queer, queer positive, and muscularly defiant.
That was really fun. Will you put his name in the chat so I can look him up?
Sure thing.
I appreciate it.
Was the second one something you wrote, Paul?
Yes.
When did you write that one?
Not that long ago. I would say around February.
Nice. Very cool. Whenever you read, I have all kinds of interesting things happen in my head that I'm not going to try and explain. I'm just letting you know they're there.
Oh, good. That's such a wonderful compliment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So on deck, we have the one and only John Michael. But stepping up to the plate, we have Generalissimo. You could bless us with some words, we would appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Where was I? Hold on, let me pull this up for you. So this was about my Uncle Sam I was telling you about. It's called Why Samuel Harris Paplanus Sentenced Several Woodpeckers to Death by Guillotine. My Uncle Sam's yard existed in the Tucson desert. One of his neighbors had a burro that often hollered for no reason at all. Uncle Sam claimed it was the reincarnation of Minnie Pearl. Bobcats and roadrunners were visible through the sliding glass door past the stone-tiled patio from his tastefully furnished mid-century modern den. Bare mesquite trees looked like a living driftwood art installation. The proud saguaro cacti resembled an Alvin Ailey troupe in mid-dance. When woodpeckers arrived as if they were hired by Hitchcock to peck the saguaros down to their skeletons, Uncle Sam called them cactus murderers and said they deserved the guillotine. And let's see what I want to do after that. Hold on. Let's do this one. It's called Snake Handling 101. Excuse me. Snake Handling 101. My body is no longer made of blood, skin, and bones. It is composed of words, an awkward array of grammatical errors and run-on sentences coiled around my identity like a Burmese python, squeezing out every ounce of life, readying me to be eaten whole. Fingers and toes are clever little rhymes. Arms and legs are profound metaphors for life-changing events. My synapses are made of like and as. My nervous system is a smorgasbord of scrambled similes. When I get cut, I bleed axioms and idioms. When I eat greasy food, I fart adages and quotable quotes. Every hair on my body is made of ed and ing, participles hanging and dangling on precipices of impropriety, waiting to fall into chasms of criticism. My ears are periods and question marks that hear too much for their own good. My left eye says hello, my right eye says goodbye, so no one can tell whether I'm coming or going. My nose sneezes snot that screams, shit, piss, fuck, cuck, cock, sucker, motherfucker, tits, because the late, great George Carlin taught me a little dirty don't hurt nobody. My lips never know when to say shut, while my teeth are exclamation points trying to make the world a better place. I am a poet. I don't have to follow rules. I invent words. I don't always capitalize beginnings of sentences. Sometimes I don't capitalize at all. Sometimes I don't punctuate. My sophomore English teacher, Marie Gonzalez, would have a field day with her little red pen. She was a less than mediocre teacher who only excelled at emotionally abusing students. There is no way poet. She was a poet. Zen did not exist in her disposition, and unlike her, I enjoy the field day, that is the English language, with its endless mazes and optical illusions with no solutions. Mrs. G can go fuck herself and her army of Burmese pythons. I will defang and devenom each one with one silly pun and turn them into lapdogs. Thank you.
Everyone share someone with Generalissimo. That was awesome.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, how I miss your voice, kind sir. Oh, how I miss your voice.
Well, thank you very much, Maze Man.
A smorgasbord of similes. I want that dish.
Imagine you eating it. And look at those cactuses. That is so cool. Like new obsession. Like, wow, holy crap, that's awesome. Love it.
It's quite, oh my Lord, the whisper is here, but let me just say it is beautiful and sad it's so beautiful and sad at the same time. One time I was driving through Iowa and all the cornfields were flooded, and of course that was like a natural disaster because they couldn't have these crops. But I was driving through and like it was like you were driving through Vietnam and witnessing rice paddies, but they weren't rice paddies. So at the same time, you're seeing something that looks gorgeous, but you know it's a disaster. It's
Yeah.
really weird how nature is.
I'm gonna see.
I just want to say I haven't seen Whisper in such a long time. I'm just so happy she's here.
All right, let's all freak out for a second. We love you. Thank you for being here.
I'm so happy to see you and to see everybody in the room. I love you guys. It's great to be here. Thank you for saying hi.
We love you.
Love you, Whisper.
Thank you again, General. That was freaking awesome. All right, on deck we have Nemo Sum, but coming up now we have some John Michael. Everyone can just sort of take 5-10 seconds here to just send some love to John because he's in pain and he's very stubborn, and that's one of the things we love about him. So he's gonna be stubborn and take our love too. Whenever you're ready, you go ahead. I'll be here sending you love.
This is a new piece that I'm working on. I've kind of got to cut it down and land the plane somewhere, but I'm gonna read it for you tonight. It all comes down to math, zeros and ones, the programming of a whole, that black hole algebra, and Tesla knew it was all light, natural vibration, the universe hidden behind the nines, a frequency that combines the collective consciousness, and we're not all on the same side of the balance. Where there's night, there is day, and all matter is not the same. We're all a part of the bigger act, both victim and crime, all spinning on an axis through space. Observers, gypsies of eternity, souls, pure energy, and feeling is everything. See, for me, it's always been about the threes. And it was 3 days that would define my life, change my trajectory, engage my destiny. And I only wish I could tell you it was pretty. It was anything but. A lone survivor of the fire, left sifting through this ash to find what remained. Forging forward, raw, new, molding my greatest masterpiece. I was on the biggest bender of my life, slipping between my dream and a reality, and the Carmen line had dissipated. There was no boundary. I didn't know it was real anymore. I heard them say they'd be better off without me. The whispers of shadows in the darkness, and I believed them. I was everybody's past with a dream, romancing disaster with pornographic eyes, undressing chaos so it could fuck me, poetically, without apology. I was a beautiful disaster, broken by the darkness that consumed me in flames. My apathy of flared emptiness shaded my shadow till I appeared no more in the light of the moon. Reality's mirror, a vampire, my reflection, a ghostly phoenix, wings broken by the weight of ash, and stars no longer shine in the eyes of this child. Thy mother, unholy, goat's milk bleeding from vacant nipples. And I, the black sheep, evicted too soon from the nest. Back turned to seek attention, a spark, false pretense, masked by a flame. And the devil was stirring echoes that echoed in the caves of this mind. Silence no more. Drums, hairless, without skin, absorbed, no sound leaving this buzzing in my ears. I remember opening the door for her. It was raining. Our feet were wet. Her dress was drenched. I closed her door and skipped through the puddles to the other side of the car and let myself in. I started the car, turned the heat on, reached into the back seat and grabbed a dry hoodie for her to put on. We drove back to her house in a nervous silence. Her energy and frequency erratic. I could feel the static building as it took my breath away, leading my mind astray. Her ambrosia, a heavenly fruit, vine trimmed a peach. Sinful titillation, my salvation had me salivating, dripping in my dreams. And her scent, I could never forget it. I wonder if life exists after death. A moment, this thought, bringing me closer to realizing that maybe it's all just a joke. I'm the joker. A faulty deck of cards, and there can be only one in this hand. My wild card escaped me. This anxiety waterboarding my mind as we arrived at her house. I got out and walked to her door, opened it, held out my hand to help her out. The rain had slowed to a drizzle. We ran to her front door like wild children, wondrous exploration. We entered and she reached for the switch. And that fluorescent lightning struck me down. Sensory overload sinking me deeper into my own despair, and I was drowning. Right there, a puddle on her floor, her dress still dripping from the rain, and our balance was off its axis. Oh,
God. I read that probably a dozen times, but hearing you read it is everything. Everyone, show some love to John for that. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I want to say that your cadence, the way that you read, I've noticed it before, really kind of draws me into just want to just listen to things. You just have a really great reading voice. So
John, that was gorgeous. And I'm sorry to hear you're hurting. I need to hear the details later.
Felt like I was riding in your back seat on that poem. Anxiety waterboarding my mind. May I never feel that.
Yeah, that was intense. I love
yeah,
listening to
I gotta clean that one up.
that's the one you're taking to Gonzo, right?
Yeah, the problem is there's more to the story, so I mean, I keep adding to it, but I need to find a stopping point for part one and clean it up and land the plane somewhere.
Forgot to time you. I'm sorry. I'll do that again. I'll
No, I timed it the other day and I was at like 4 minutes and 10 seconds or something like that. Which is great for the first, but I just got to figure it out because the way it's going, it's probably going to be like a 3 or 4 part series.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I would
As far
try.
as
I would try, John. Like if it's time, if it's clocked at 4 already, like let's throw the fucking concept of slam out the door, right? So everybody's used to 3 minutes and 10 seconds in the slam world. The upside to a slam time clock of 3 minutes and 10 seconds is typically after about 3:45 or 4 minutes, the poem you start repeating shit you've already said in the poem. You're beating a dead horse. So like if you go any longer, land that plane quick as shit. Like, cause most people's attention span is in what, a minute 30-second reels on fucking IG swiping up. Like, so you want to
Right.
make sure you can hold their attention for the whole 4 minutes. Like, yeah, land the plane because it's too dope. It's too dope of a piece to let it just fizz out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and here's the other thing. Should I break it down? Because I have a 5 minute slot. So should I break down what I have into 2 pieces? Or just go in there with a banging 4 minute piece and walk off and
I would probably, like, if you can do it into 2 in that time frame, like your first poem would introduce yourself to the crowd, and then you can just talk in between and be like, yeah, I'm John, blah blah blah. It's a pleasure to be here. Here's part 2, and then hit them with the part 2. So that way, like next time your name floats around, oh shit, is there a part 3? Like you drumming up your own kind of thing for the piece. So
I agree with
yeah.
CP, and God knows I am no expert, but I am ADD AF. And even though I love your work, I find my concentration about the middle of it kind of, going somewhere else for a minute. So I agree with CP, break it into 2.
Yeah, and just
I
knock
also
the fuck out
realized
of it.
too that if you break it into 3 in a slam, essentially you're giving them the beginning. They're hungry for the middle, and they're damn well gonna have you for the end because they're gonna want to hear it all. So if it's slam, then fuck yeah, that would be a really good way to do it.
I've pulled off a 3-piece poem in a slam where I kind of goaded the judges at the end of the first round poem. If you want to hear the second half, I'll see you in the second round. So the scores kind of jumped up because they were excited to hear the second half of the poem or whatever. So like, it's doable. It's doable. It's definitely
Smart.
doable.
Yeah,
I just want to see if I can pull it off. I just want to see if I can pull it off.
cagey move, CP. Whatever you do, John Michael, you have this underlying, Generalissimo was commenting on it, the tone, your delivery you already have this underlying tone of a kind of, I want to say a kind of foundering exasperation, a kind of struggling complaint sort of tone. But there's no reason why you couldn't just speed it up slightly. I don't think you want to, motor mouth the poem because so much of its weight comes from the way you deliver it. You do it in this kind of heavy, ponderous way. It's almost like your voice is struggling to lift and present and move each of those lines. But there's what shorter pauses between the phrases or just speeding it up just slightly, and that would be a way to make it shorter without substantially changing the poem, breaking it into pieces, which I agree, that's a great strategy to pull off on people. But, just a thought maybe about slightly faster pace. But your tone is really the key one, such a key part of the piece, that kind of struggling delivery, that weight. You can feel the weight of the anxiety just by the way you're kind of struggling to bring each phrase to us.
Totally.
Great feedback. Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
All right, on deck we have CP Maze, but coming up next is Nemo Sum. Nemo, could you post us with some words?
Absolutely. In honor of the Magus, I have a cover and I have an original. For my cover, this is Black Wings by Tom Waits. Take an eye for an eye. Take a tooth for a tooth, just like they say in the Bible. Never leave a trace or forget a face of any man at the table. Any man at the table. When the moon is a cold chiseled dagger, sharp enough to draw blood from a stone, he rides through your dreams on a coach and horses, and the fence posts in the moonlight look like bones. Well, they've stopped trying to hold him with mortar, stone, and chain. He broke out of every prison. Boots mount the staircase. The door is flung back open. He's not there, for he has risen. He's not there, for he has risen. Well, he once killed a man with a guitar string. He's been seen at the table with kings. Well, he once saved a baby from drowning. There are those that say beneath his coat, there are wings. Some say they fear him. Others admire him because he steals his promise. One look in his eye, everyone denies ever having met him. Ever having met him. He can turn himself into a stranger. Well, they broke a lot of canes on his hide. He was born away in a cornfield. A fever beats in his head like a drum inside. Some say they fear him. Others admire him because he steals his promise. One look in his eye, everyone denies ever having met him. And then this is my original piece I've been working on today. This poem is not about trauma. It's not about what it takes to keep going after the impact in those first few moments of everything's changed. It's not about walking down hospital hallways that look like hallways where hearts are breaking. Not about having to count numbers out loud to hold back the panic when you're lying in the machine. No. This poem is not about trauma. It's not about getting a phone call from a stranger with news that takes your knees out. It's not about having to say goodbye or having to hear it and knowing that's it. Not about parents who abandon their children because sometimes biological imperatives don't work. No, this poem is not about trauma. It's not about the ripping or the tearing or the hurt, not the crying or the dying or the dirt, not shaking or quaking or lying or loss. No, this poem is not about the time your brother sat outside his school building waiting for a dad who isn't coming ever again. And he cannot understand to this day why his dad didn't come for him that day or any day. No, this poem is not about trauma, not needles or exit bags or exit wounds or scars or pissing blood. No, this poem is about still being here. It's about getting through it, about standing back up when the trauma poems are the best we can do. Thank you.
Thank you, Nemo. I get why you're the most inspirational poet. I do. You speak and I get it.
Thank you.
I love the cover. Your delivery was amazing. And your original is, of course, that's such a powerful piece. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, Catalyst.
Open your mics and show some love to Nemo.
News that takes your knees out. I
Nemo,
know
that was
that
amazing.
feeling. Yeah.
Nasty piece, Nemo. Super dope.
The thing about a poem that's talking about what it's not is you automatically have people waiting to hear what it is or to experience the kind of turn in the poem. And you do that so effortlessly. So you knew where you were going with this from the get-go.
Thank you, Paul. Yes. Yeah, yeah, a little bit. Yes. Guilty as charged.
No, genius is charged.
I like that. Genius is charged. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much, Nemo. You are a freaking genius. In a room full of geniuses, you're still a genius. No.
You guys make me blush so much. Thank you.
We love you very much. All right, on deck we have Parquillian, but coming up next we have CP Maze. CP Maze, could you CP amaze us?
Oh, I'm unmuted. Yeah, I'm gonna try to. We'll see. So this is a poem I rarely get to read in its entirety. A poem that I end up doing for the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. Goes like this. It's called Imagine Sarah. Okay. Somewhere in anywhere hometown USA, there's a wave of undocumented Marias. Second generation, barely making ends meet Marthas and Marisols and compression socks in second season of Separated and Divorced. Single parent problems for Shamika's, Teresa's, Marilyn's, and Keisha's a few moments past midnight. Making mid-shift moves as new managers, Martha and Marisol attempt to hire maids, princesses of push brooms, and mops with swagger. They're raining down spray bottle bleach mist upon every desk in every cubicle plantation on every floor of this minimum wage castle of a call center. Did you know every barely able to make ends meet mother's makeup are made up of Merlot and rosé and after-school math tutors and peanut butter and jelly crackers, and also inside every other mother's makeup is Benadryl and Robitussin and last-minute late-night science fair projects and dollar stew glue stick runs and poster boards and children's Tylenol and Vicks Vapor Rub and scratch your head algebra homework that just ain't gonna get done tonight cause that new math is about as tolerable as a kid turning in their spelling test in the cursive handwriting that's just not taught anymore. It's John 3:16 in the morning and Martha's three children sleep peacefully in their shared one-bedroom queen-size bed apartment. Whoa. Timothy's 10. Kimberly 7. And oh, then there's Sarah. Sarah's 6. Act like she's 16 going on 30. She's nonverbal. She lives on the spectrum, but she makes moves like an outlaw with that shit though. Once at her 3rd birthday party, shortly after Make-A-Wish blown out candles and barely able to walk, with some washable markers and construction paper and left-handed scissors and glue, she built her first pair of experimental angel wings, and in her inaugural flight, she flew straight through a kickball game, across 2 hopscotch chalk outlines, barely landing across the other side of the water puddle in the middle of the playground. She was really proud of herself, but in real-time reality, Sarah was only able to fly for a few split seconds, but you gotta love her prop, plain passion, and sheer stubborn 6-year-old tenacity to test the design and pride of pure air as she soared across that water puddle. Though Sarah's hand-me-downs are about as torn as her mother Martha's revolving door of bipolar and depression and anxiety attacks. And heartbroken, her ADHD and adult decisions must be made on Nana's behalf. Either there's enough money for another month of food for you, Grandma, or there's enough money for all your prescription refills you need for this month. Choose wisely, America, because Nana can't afford both. The funny thing about living on a fixed income is that it's not built or prepared to cover consistent $78 cost of living raises in apartment lease rent hike-ups every year. The funny thing about lower middle class single parent mommy households is somehow, some way, most times second jobs still barely affords anything else but besides chicken on the dining room table. Again, every single night. It's hard to judge a jury of your peers until you realize that none of those peers look just like you. Just like it's hard to judge gerrymandering politicians, poker-facing freedom, gambling with gentrification to acquire property rights to build yet another high-rise or bistro, or well-manicured golf courses until you realize none of these policymakers live below the poverty line, just like you has ever had an appointment to certify SNAP food benefits and missed it because cell phone prepaid minutes ran out before you could afford to re-up on some more. Congress doesn't dock their own paychecks for having to call out of work for 2 weeks for their Timothys catching chicken pox. Then their Kimberlys catching chicken pox. Congress has never passed up a great pediatrician because minimum wage working as it made paycheck deposits doesn't cover the top notch medical care your Sarah autistically needs because the best doctors always seem to be out of your network. Imagine Sarah. Imagine her torn hand-me-downs, thrift store shoes with holes in the sole. Imagine poorly advertised city council meetings that won't make a difference with common man because common sense rarely shows up on time to speak for itself, let alone systemic change. Imagine Martha's or Marisol's third shift job trying to cover rent and lights and food and car notes, and never mind the household holy trinity of full holding their bank accounts hostage with full medical and full dental and full coverage car insurance, all coming out of the same check, all at the same goddamn time. We ignore allergies and dietary restrictions and subpar food found freeloading badly and free school lunches. Ignore elementary kids who have to check in behavioral meds in school nurses' offices because at least twice a week acting off your meds typically poses problems, but your teacher won't write you a hall pass to get the mood stabilizing prescription doses you desperately need because being off your meds by midday will easily mislabel you as a misfit, as a problem student, as yet another disrespectful poor kid with bad manners from the block. These so-called problem kids don't get equal treatment. In school, speech pathologists paid pennies. 30 minutes a day in class reading comprehension support paid pennies. Principal conflict resolutions and teacher assistant interventions to check better teachers who no longer do it for the kids, but only do it now for retirement benefits, with superintendents who doesn't show up on time to clock change in to do any work. Hey, America, as you're fighting over abortion rights, let me introduce myself. Hello, my name is Limited Income. My name is Glass Ceiling. My name is Systemic Change. Hello, my name is How Cruel of a World Have We Become to Believe Our Children or Our Future, yet somehow bright future formulas for LGBT, transgender, suicidal kids are going ignored for way too fucking long. Imagine Sarah no longer simply being on the spectrum, but actually Capri Sun sipping, sitting, crisscross applesauce on it with more construction paper and more washable markers and same pair of lucky left-handed scissors and better glue. She's building a better pair of experimental angel wings, and nothing else matters more than this moment. This moment. This moment, imagine Sarah, arms stretched out so wide, you swore she was hugging God, and how I was today years old when I realized I need not be an advocate for something. I need to be an advocate for change, to change, within change, everything, increasingly horrible that's steering all of us wrong. For if not, what are we really doing here? It's not living. Poem. Thank y'all.
God damn, CP.
That was like walking through a house of mirrors and you thought you were going to bang into a mirror, but it turned out to be another hallway and every time
More mirrors.
I thought I was banging into a mirror, you took a turn, you found another hallway to go through. It was like everything was a surprise. It's like I thought you were stopping and then you went in a different direction, and you kept on circling back, but you weren't really circling back, you were just going. And it was like it was confusing and not confusing, and it made sense, and I was just like I was flabbergasted. That's the best way to say it.
Yeah.
Is that when you have bad gas and you eat like cabbage that's been spoiled? Flabbergasted. I'm thinking of something else. What am I thinking of?
Eating my deviled eggs. That's what happens when you eat my deviled eggs.
Gotcha.
CP, one of my favorite things about you, and I know I've quoted you at you before when you've said that you like when you write about yourself and your experiences, you dig into yourself. You give yourself no passes. But you have such incredible empathy for others. And that comes through in your writing. And I love that about you, that you are so incredibly empathetic to the point of view of the other person.
Thank you. Really, thank you.
It's an amazing write, man.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what makes you so dangerous to so many people too, is how deeply you feel. That poem was just very instructive in many ways, but it's one of those poems. We got to get you down into the floor of the Senate to recite that poem. And one of these things you pick up I pick up when you do these types of poems, sometimes more than from other poets. I don't know why. It's probably just me, because I'm sure other poets do it into a similar level of success. But what happens when somebody is a low income person because of by dint of how the capitalism is structured and the society is structured is you learn how to be an expert of overcoming being a low income person. And it doesn't take you but more than a day to find, where you can go get a big, huge lunch for $2.50. And, that's so as many people as a society creates, to waste in order so the society can reproduce itself, the society seems to be unaware. It's also creating this huge force of people who know how to overcome everything that's being thrown at them. It's the biggest training ground for survival there is, being a low-income person. Just one other thing I'm going to throw out. I saw this beautiful, huge handmade sign the other day up by this building a few blocks from here that has one of these construction underpasses, scaffolding erected around it for like 3 years. So unhoused people, that's what they're called now, have been living under it. And they put up this big, huge handwritten sign: "Do not criminalize my existence."
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. I'm sorry, I got excited. Yeah, that's gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Yeah. I think a lot of times, like you said, it's a training ground on survival. And the crazy part about it is, like, being a Marine, like shooting back azimuths with a compass, like knowing your surroundings, knowing that the line of sight can't be trusted all the time because you may have like valleys and peaks. So what you thought you can just, hump over, now you have to make adjustments. I think the lower income you learn how to be in the field. The field is just urban. And now you're just like, okay, well, there's a soup kitchen here. How do I get there? Okay, that's on Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, I can survive on Tuesday and Wednesday. What am I going to do Monday and Thursday? Well, I found a spot that has a lunch special. You know what I'm saying? Like, you figure out how to use your environment the best way you possibly can, or else you won't survive. And it builds, I think it builds up a generation of survivors that pass down those traits to other survivors. The only negative side about that is, like, we become so accustomed to being on the bottom that we start thinking poor. We think poor all the time. You know, like, we can't help but think poverty. Like, I know I can't help but think poverty back in the days. Like, soup kitchens are what got, when Swan was pregnant with the twins and nobody would hire me. Like, that's how we survived with twins in the stomach, was like a church giving us food from a soup kitchen. So, like you say, being in the field and knowing survival, it makes you appreciate shit more. It's so cliche, but you appreciate a whole lot of shit. Like, when you're at the bottom. Oh my God. Yeah, you do.
Well, I like how you put that, being in the field. Yeah, and I know that, just like that thing you said, you learn how to work the infrastructure, right? It's like, it's like you figure out here, it's like you figure out which is the shortest train ride to the benefits office and shit like that. I mean, I spent so much time on unemployment once. As a lark, I would use some of my money to bake a cake every day. That was one way I would like protest being on unemployment, right? I would bake one cake a day. And so I figured out, to go to this one used bookstore where I could buy cake cookbooks for 50 cents.
Oh, wow. Word. Yeah. And that gives you something to do, take your mind off of, like, I'm unemployed and I can't find a job. Like, feeding it. Poverty is such a mind fuck. Oh my God.
Yeah, one year I went to 73 fucking job interviews in 1 year and didn't get one fucking job offer. And all my friends were saying, just fuck it, Skiff, forget it. Don't even try, And back in the day here in this neighborhood, there were so many other ways to make a living on the parallel economy, the cash economy. So I won't go on much longer about this, but one thing we did was we found this guy who needed somebody to take care of his one-eyed 13-year-old Doberman Pinscher one weekend a month. He would drop off his dog Friday night and pick up this dog on Monday morning, and he paid us $750 in cash. And that was our rent, But those are the things you just, figure out, and you scramble and you work out these solutions, like you said. And, for you all, you pass this down generationally. It's just part of what they call epigenetics. It's multi-generational knowledge.
Yeah. I don't want to take up as much time. Yeah, we can Skiff about this a whole lot, Skiff. Yeah, man. I am with you.
All right, that's my cue to come in and be like, that was awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
I appreciate that conversation, because I definitely get where you're all coming from and where that comes from. So, like, that was cool. CP, when you read, sometimes I'll throw a goose out there. It's because, like, I start out with normal skin, and then my skin starts to get all goosebumpy, and then after a little while I'm like freezing cold and I'm transforming into a goose.
That's the Hall of Mirrors. That's Generalissimo's mirrors. Yeah. Thank you.
That was a way of describing that poetry. Like, your work is that you nailed it, Generalissimo, for sure. So on deck we have Blxck Sxlt, but coming up next we have Parquillian. Parquillian, it's so good to see you. You could bless us with words, we would appreciate it.
Thank you much, Catalyst, and everyone here. It's so great to see everyone. Well, on perhaps a lighter topic here, but wonderful to hear such powerful work today. For my cover, I've got a poem by an Irish poet called Moya Cannon. It's a short one called Pollen. And this dust survives through the deaths of ages. It sleeps in deep layers of mud, black, red, and umber. It sleeps under the wet pelt of a November hill, where long grass is the color of fox. It sleeps deep under lakes. 12 meters down it survives, dust of Arctic meadows, old and tough as love. That brings me to this poem I wrote recently here, just a couple weeks ago, I guess. It's called Spring Dilemma. The wind is bringing me pleasure and pain, the song of the robin born on the breeze with scents of flowers and gentle spring rain that feeds the weeds and blossoming trees, whose pollen can tickle and bother my nose and make my eyes itch and sinuses drain. Then rain turns to storm as a cool wind blows, and crackling thunder scrambles my brain, till fading away like the still morning dew, as the cycle of days begins anew. And then for some reason that prompt, we also did a haiku. This is just sort of a associated haiku. Like snow, but not cool, bothering my nose and eyes, pollen on the breeze. And then thought I'd read this one, which I think I read here not too long ago, but maybe last year. It's a similar subject. This is called allergic reaction or trypanophobia. For 10 years, I felt the sting of the needle each week at a series of houses nearby, between trips to the house in the woods. They told me they had to hold me down in that chair right there to do the tests when I was only 4. The serum would enter and lighten the load of violent reactions to the pollen of trees, ragweed, grass, and dust. The sight of the needle became second nature. For years, it held no fear for me. But that was long ago. Thank you very much. I'll put my links in the chat.
I had to pull that word out of there. Trypanophobia?
The fear of needles.
That? Yeah. Okay.
I used to have no fear of needles whatsoever when I was a kid, but now it's just like, oh, I got to get a needle.
While I was looking that up, I discovered that anthophobia is a fear of pollen.
Yes.
I love those poems. Like Thomas gets really affected by the pollen. So
it's pollen still bothers me. Last week has been bad because the oaks are my worst, but it's just nothing compared to as a kid where it just drives me nuts. So
oh, it's such a tiny little thing to get in your blood and make you like this stuff. Yeah. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Everyone share some love with him for that. That was awesome.
Thank you, Martin. I like how you drew out those related poems, and they just sort of extemporaneously you created this kind of suite to do. And thanks for talking about needles, because you reminded me I have to go get a shot.
Yeah, sorry.
Trypanophobia.
Yeah. I had to get those from 4 to 14 for 10 years, and then it helped dissipate the allergies enough they're tolerable otherwise with other, over-the-counter stuff. So.
It's almost like being stung by a bee over and over to get over bee stings.
Well, they say bee stings now are healing certain things. Finding out that they can be treatment for certain things. So that's interesting.
What about wasps? Those are always what sting me. I think it just gets worse every time they sting you.
It depends on what's going on. Certain types of bee stings can are now found to have venom that helps heal unrelated things, seemingly unrelated things. Interesting.
I love learning new things. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, on deck we have, oh, I just have trypnophobia. Hold on. Okay, on deck we have Whisper. And coming up next, we have Blxck Sxlt. Blxck Sxlt, could you bless us with some magic?
Hello, hello. And yes, I am here to bring the magic. And I'm trying to decide which poem I want to do first. I definitely want to do this piece, some new shit I wrote called Rage Against the Void, Not What You Think. And I might save that for last as I scroll through this device. Can't think of anything else. I can't think of anything. We'll just do this. Rage Against the Void, Not What You Think. Here we go. You hear me okay? Not too loud, not too quiet. Okay, I see I have the thumbs up, so Rage Against the Void, Not What You Think. It's not as simple as you think. The void is real and anxious. The void chooses victims, I mean, vessels for their work. And you don't choose the void chooses you. I tried to do things my way, and it started out innocent enough, but the void doesn't care. They are on their own time. And the worst thing you can do is think you're in control. Sometimes it's just what it's gotta be. And sometimes the grass is greener. And sometimes the night is darker. Once you're in the void, it's curtains. Literally, you'll never see the light again. And you'll never be the same once you know the truth. And you might think, oh, the truth, that's good, right? But evil is not what you think. Neither is the truth. The void definitely is not what you think. It's all kind of like a black compass, one arrow pointing to pleasure and the other arrow points to pain. Sometimes I forget which one is which, but it's not the past or the future that you need to be afraid of. It's the present. But, and this is a big ass but, neither one is what you think. The void is sweet and salty at the same time, and chips fall where they may. Don't fight it. Don't talk about it. Just rage against the contradiction, because that's the only immunity. The key is in the floorboards, and God is in the attic. Neither one is what you think. Just rage. Rage against the void. And that is Rage Against the Void. Not what you think. And so, I guess I'll just leave it at that. I don't know. I'm feeling a bit intranquil today. It's been a very intranquil month. Yeah.
Well, if that was really powerful and awesome, and if it wore you out, I respect that. But we got space for more. If you got one more, holy moly, that was awesome.
Yes. 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 Let me see. There was one that I was thinking about. It got lost between my fingertips. I gotta find it. Keep it moving. Here we go. Keep it moving. Now, let's do Keep It Moving. Here we go. Yeah, the poem's called Keep It Moving. Here we go. Walked right into that. Fell through the cracks. Fell for it again. Never had a friend. but the shadows are playful and light is deadly. Two kinds of crazy, worst enemies. A little wear and tear, a little dirt. Someone's got to do the dirty work. White shirts. Got to keep it moving. Got to keep singing. Songs stuck in my head. Voices of the dead. Point of no return. Luck runs out. 2 strikes, you're out. $20 and you're in. Root of all evil. Original sin. Original gangster. Rich as a thief. Beating a dead horse. Dead as can be. And that is keep it moving.
I love that.
And
Two
with that being
strikes.
said, I will get out of the way now. And so that's what I got. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, guys.
I love
Just
that
really
line.
can.
2 strikes, you're out. $20, you're in. Oh, fuck, that was good.
Hey.
Yeah, I liked all the free associations you did with those turns of phrase. That was really kind of uncanny.
I love
That's
the
what I'm here
tone
for. I'm here for
of
the
your work.
uncanny.
I love the tone of your work. I feel like you always voice such a gritty determination to not let anything get you down. It's like you're acknowledging pain and you just absolutely are like, just have to power through.
Thank you. I mean, that's
Perceive
what I
that that's your
represent,
approach
you
to
know?
life. Yeah.
Thank you. You know, that's what I represent. Like I'm here for the shadow aspect of humanity and to just put it into words and kind of gently re-traumatize you, but but just gentle enough, like a little bit of the poison, a little bit of poison turns into a remedy, right? If I'm not, it's kind of like that, like a little bit of the lyrical vaccine, poetry vaccine, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what my intentions are.
Wow, that was a poem in itself. You should just write all that down. But that, I'm really down with that. I mean, part of what I say is if you're a poet and you can't get people to bring themselves to your words in a way they have not been asked to do before, then why are you being a poet, And that's what you do. I mean, that last bundle of words, your explanation was doing that. It's like, got to get people, turn people's heads. You just got to startle them. You got to shake them up. And, as poets, we have millions of different tools to do that, but some of the best tools are in the words themselves. And I think that's what you really get at in your work.
Yes.
I definitely see it as a form of energetic surgery where, there's something on the inside that's, it wants out. And then you come along and you slice it open very gently, like you said, open it up, and it can either crawl out and go play in the shadow world, or it can look at you and go, get the fuck out of here. Like you give it that choice. It's so, and you wouldn't have that without that opening that is so gentle and exact. I love it. Very good at what you do.
Yeah.
You're right. I used to say, speaking a poem was to perform a very delicate operation on the human brain and heart and spirit under very primitive circumstances.
That's so true. Love
Apt
it.
description.
Thank you so much, Blxck Sxlt. As always, we absolutely love your work. Thank you. So our last performer of the night is Miss Whisper. Whisper, are you ready to bless us with some words? We've missed you.
I am. I miss you guys too. It's so awesome to hear everybody read and share. It's just really great to see you guys. I've been taking some time, but I would like to share that the wild kitten that I named for Gustav, Magus, I've had Magus for a year now. And the other day, Magus surprised me by having kittens in my closet.
How traditional for a cat.
Yes. And the funny thing is that I was so convinced that Magus was a boy that I thought that there was a mystery mama cat who had actually had her kittens under my house, and that Magus was like the daddy who was stressing out and spraying urine in my closet, and that his legs were wet because he was spraying urine. Never occurred to me that he was female, and those were birth waters. To the extent that I got a stranger from Dollar General to come to my house and climb under my house to rescue kittens that weren't there.
Well, that's a striking way to make a new friend. I think I'm going to try that.
I adore
So
your
I felt
beliefs. That's beautiful. You are so strong. You're like,
I
no.
felt so bad, like this man was under my house when it suddenly I realized, like, oh, Vegas is a girl, and I bet the kittens are in my closet. That's why he's not finding them under the house.
That's crazy.
He came out
Are
from
the
under
are
the
the kittens
house.
are the kittens still around right now, or are they?
Yes, well, two of them were stillborn. Three are still alive, and they were born on the 15th, so I named them IRS Uncle Sam in April. And Magus it turns out, is a very good mom. So
Well, you're going to name a cat Magus. Yeah, maybe you should be glad it doesn't want to puff up every day.
oh my goodness. But it's great to see you guys. But I only have one device, so I didn't have a way to find someone else's poem to share with you. So if it's okay, I'll just go. I'll just read two of mine. This one does not have a title. There's a napkin in the center of the table, a perfect square, snow white, smooth and thin, begging for the imprint of my lip prints, the contours of pink and beeswax, or what this napkin was made to receive. But near the center, it's stained with tea. A two-ply emergency blanket of absorbency, the little blot of Darjeeling blaring its wrongness at me. I know what it feels like to miss out on the lip prints and end up with the tea stain, to swap the dream of perfect destiny for the mantle of shame and unfulfilled expectations. I have no regrets except the ones that left me at the intersect of selfishness and what if we had never met? The kind you never get over. Because if you look back, you'll see the remains of the life you reject and the ones you destroyed, laying in tatters on the platter of your trauma. It's hubris glistening like blood, fresh from the crash. And then I was walking in my aunt's pasture the other morning, and I wrote this one. This is called The Herald in the Meadow. Morning erupts from her throat, sung in hues of cadmium and chartreuse. Purple grain heads sway atop their red stalks, a gypsy call to my heart. Crisscross applesauce, plant me here where my throat can sing the rising of the sun. I will make this home, my bower framed in golden grass, with trees casting shadows, making ripples in this magnificent ocean, where the living honor the dead, and my spirit moves in cadence, in sublime cadence, with the rhythm of nature's dance. Thank you, guys.
So peaceful. I needed that.
Hey, let's go whisper.
Thank you.
Yeah, whisper.
Great
to
to
hear
see you,
you.
Nemo. I actually made a poem video of that one, so if y'all follow me on TikTok, you can see the pictures that I took that morning. I sent them to Nemo. He's seen them.
I want to walk through that pasture. The rhythm of nature's dance. That's a beautiful line.
Thank you. It was a beautiful morning. Lucky to be 10 toes down.
Thank you so much, Christopher. That was beautiful. You're beautiful. We love you.
Thank you. I love you too, sweetheart.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for coming out tonight. I've enjoyed your presences so much. They are what gifts, the greatest gifts. So I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And if you're watching this at some other point, I hope you have a good day today too. Bless.
Thank you, Catalyst. That was awesome.
Everybody, great to see you.
Good night, everyone. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, this is really becoming one of my favorite events. John Michael and Catalyst, I just want to say it's really made a difference the past couple of weeks for me.
I'm happy to hear that. Same here.
Wish I was more active tonight.
You rest and drink water. We'll take.
I'm going to. I'm about to take a couple Xanax and try to knock myself out. But
Well, I'm feeling better, so I'm pretty sure I know why you got sick. So you should be feeling better soon if that helps.
I hope so.
I
Let's
made
see
it
what
through, and so you'll be making it through too.
All right. I love you, Kat.
You too. Love you, Parquillian.
Love you guys. Thanks.